Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Cactus Atlas. My name is Glenn, and today I'm going to have you accompany me on a scouting mission, seeking out and trying to confirm some Native American ruins that are said to be hidden in some of the hills and mesa tops here in the extreme northern reaches of the Phoenix, Arizona area. Should be a fun one, kind of a scavenger hunt. I wanted to start somewhere familiar to some of you. I'm on the Carefree Highway, Route 74, north of where downtown Phoenix is, the very northern parts of the urban sprawl, and I'm going to be making a right turn onto North 7th Street in 2.3 miles from my current location, and then from there we're going to be navigating wherever Google takes me through some neighborhoods, hopefully out to a dirt road where our adventure will really begin today. Alright, I'm turning right on North 7th Street here, a major intersection with a light, so far pretty easy. You might likely be coming from the other...
Turn right onto North 7th Street.
You might be coming from the other direction if you're going to access this from Interstate 17, which just is a couple miles up the road that way. And now we have to stay about 6.2 miles on this until we make a right turn onto something called East Circle Mountain Road. It's really not exciting so far. It's just navigating neighborhoods at this point. If I had to describe the mission as in the plainest terms possible today, I've located, using the internet, not hard to find, several ruins of the Hohokam, very similar to Sears Cay. If you've seen our other videos, there are other little Sears Cays, is how I would think about them, at varying locations throughout the northern part of Phoenix, the New River area, like that area. However, the difference between these and Sears Cay are, to access them, I don't think are on very user-friendly roads. And one of the two, maybe even both of them, I don't know if you can really access it without bushwhacking maybe a half mile through very rugged Sonoran desert. And for me today, if I see a clear way to go, I will, but I am not going to get that adventurous, so don't get your hopes up. But we do have a tool at our disposal that I'm going to use, which is our drone, and we're going to be on the Tonto National Forest, so I could make very good use of that to survey from the air when need be. I do not plan on, really having much to say educationally. I don't even know. I'm going to guess the things we're going to look at are my estimates. I'm kind of going off my memory of Sears Cay, and I'm going to make a general assumption that they're probably date to the same time frame, and I want to say like maybe 800 to 900 years old or something like that, maybe pushing 1,000 years old is what I think we're going to see today. So, but other than that, I'm not going to go into much more detail. That should be cool enough. We're really just trying to, confirm some pinpoints on a map. There's a brown sign right there that says 53 Tonto National Forest. That is the forest road. You'll see it on maps as FR.
Continue on North 12th Street for 1 mile.
You'll see it on maps as both FR and MT 53, but it's the same thing, and that's really what we're going to be primarily taking today. Not very far in. It shouldn't be that much driving. I'll explain the off-road portion when we get up here. Gotta love a good old road like this one. Shouldn't say it's old. I don't know how old it is, but just feels...
In 800 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Alright, nice. I'll wait till we're clear on forest land. We may have to go through a gate here, which is fine. I don't think we will, though. I think I see where we're gonna turn. One way or another, we're getting in there. Should be like a hard right soon. I think it might be through this gate, actually. So I think it is this gate. So this is where we want to go in. Looks like there might be some staging areas here. I do see big puddles of water, so it might be a muddy one, but that is what it is. We're gonna do it. Look at this tall cholla too. You can see right there, Route 53, that sign right in front of us here. So now we are on forest land. About to go deep into the wilderness in the mud. Slim's gonna need a bath today. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just get in here a little ways. I think we only have about 2.5 miles or so to go to our first parking location. It's not very far. There might actually be a good little spot over here to pull over, and then I'll maybe do a visual survey of the ground. I think I might even see where our target locations might even be. Okay, so here is the FR-53, and there's Mr. Slim. Another episode where he's gonna keep quiet and keep his opinions to himself. But because it's just a scouting mission, so I don't think we need him for information today. But look at these cholla. These are some of the tallest that I've seen in a very long time. I also don't know if you could see in the background, there's like these tall mountains or hills, and some of those, or a couple of those, are said to have forts on top of them. And you have all these giant, 10-foot tall cholla back here. Some well more than 10 foot tall. All right, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see here. We'll see better on when we get going with the car or the truck. But this is Forest Road 53 that we're taking on the Tonto National Forest to our first site, which I think might be this really pointy, for lack of a better term, nipple-like hill, where I think there might be a fort on top of that. That might be Bravo site. I could be wrong. And then I think the tougher of the two, where we're not gonna get any closer, is that really taller mountain there. What I predict is the site of Alpha site. We'll see if I'm right. I could be wrong, but if those are the things, we're getting closer already. Well, the only real way to know which hill is where is to get all moving here. I was trying to look at my GPS offline map, the arrow and the way it's oriented, but like I've been kind of complaining about in other videos, the program that I use, or some issue, it just takes a while for it to update. All right, I guess 53 goes to the right. So I don't think I could have actually not got my predictions right as to what thing is what, but oh God, this is ugly here. Oh boy, that is really ugly. All right, there's a creek crossing over here that I'm like, yikes. So might have been a gross underestimation, but there might be some other ways to go if we can. But I'm gonna get out on foot and survey this creek really quick. It's not the water. There is no water, I don't think. It's really just the terrain. We'll see. So basically, I know for some of you that, you might want to push forward, but this is to kind of go to show to the people that caution us, you're kind of worried about us. We don't get too extreme on the show. I can talk myself down sometimes, and I do. Do I think it's technically possible? I think so, with the help of a human spotter going extremely slowly and studying everything inch by inch, but not worth the risk to me today to go this way. I'll get in the truck and see if I can find an alternative way around, a different way to cross. All right, well, you saw that down there. So my only hope now is to basically back up so you can see whatever this road is. I'll tell you in a minute. Saw something saying that something might be closed up ahead on the digital map, not anything here in person. But in theory, this road that is not 53 will hook back up with 53 further, very near where we want to go. So all might not be lost. I chose 53 as the preferred way to go because it seemed like the main road through here, and maybe it is, but this one's very rocky at times. Sorry, got a Coca-Cola before this one. I needed caffeine and sugar. Fun to drink in a off-road vehicle. excited. I've wanted to come see this for years, to be honest. And we're coming up on where the things should converge and where the final drive to our location will be there. But I can tell you, I think we're close enough. If I needed to walk from a certain point here, at least to get to the first site, awesome. And who knows, maybe the second site won't even happen, you know? I decided to pull over really quick to do some road survey to be safe. And that there is now, I'm certain, is where we want to go. And somewhere up on this thing are ruins of the Hohokam. Sears Cay-like ruins, like I said earlier. And then if I turn this way, now I'm almost very more certain of that too, is somewhere up there. I wanted to park like halfway up that mountain, I think, and then see if I can get the drone up. I want to say over there is where I'm expecting a pretty large compound on the top, but I don't know of any established trails to that place, and this one may not have any either, the one that we're going to be going to, by the way. But looking at maps, I see where I think I see foot traffic, probably because this one's not as tall as the other one. But it looks like I'm almost on 53 now. Oh yeah. I'm guessing something right here is probably 53, and it goes up and to the right this way. It's getting rough. 53 kind of sucks, man. I'm not a fan. So here's Forest Road 53 again. I drove up this. Some really large rocks sticking up like that, which I had clearance for. But not a fun road, very off camber, like slanted is what I mean. And not fun when you're in a larger 4x4. And the road goes up this way, but I can really see the tip top of the structure we want to find right up there. So I think it's just easier to walk. Here's a look at Forest Road 53. Now I am playing the role of Slim and hauling us up here. I think I'm just getting a little bit more cautious in my old age, which probably will save me money in the long term. This is fun though, you know, we're starting to get really to a lot more obscure places, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm getting tired of national and state parks all the time. Sometimes you gotta have some Indiana Jones type adventures. So it looks like the forest road continues this way. But what I'm pretty sure we want to do is follow this side road up to the other side of this hill. If you want to take your off-road vehicle all the way, I mean, go for it. I think I could do it. I'm 99% sure I could do it. But that 1% for today was what talked me out of it, and just knowing I need to walk more. I figured, why the heck not? But now I'm kind of regretting it, because look how steep that hill is. I'm about halfway up the hill, but oh my God, look at that. I know that's not going to come out on video, but that is steep and slippery too. And you can see going back, looking back the way we came from Carefree Highway, see the urban sprawl, its limits, it butts up to the National Forest, and all that's preventing it from going further is the National Forest. Oh, I think I see ruins somewhere right up there, like a wall. And I think this trail might head right up to them. I underestimated the hiking to be done. All right, this is your halftime show, folks.
I am pretty confident looking at the site A, where I think I'm going to be flying my drone from to get to the top of that. I do not believe I could do safely. It's pretty windy today, but by keeping visual observation, there's no way. I'd have to get about halfway up that mountain. So that's going to become a full adventure on its own, I'm deciding. But we may see. But if that's the road over there that I have pinned, I think we're a long way off. I counted about a half mile. So from about here to up there, that could be about right. That's a long way to fly a drone, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to see around those mountains. They're a lot bigger in person than they look on the topography. So rather than messing with that, I think I got my hands full for me, my skill level. I think I said last adventure I'm a level 2 armchair archaeologist, still a level 2. Think I'll get level 3 if I can get to the ruins, and then I'll be a level 3 according to my progress. You know, I keep telling myself every week, this is the week, Glenn, you gotta start hiking. And instead I keep booking off-roading things, maybe because I'm subconsciously avoiding the exercise. But today, the world would have its way with me with that. Oof. Wonder how many calories a day someone that lived the kind of lifestyle would consume in a day living back then. Having to walk up and down things like this, hunting, gathering. Probably needed a lot. I made it, guys. I made it. What is this? That's the ruins. Oh, how cool. Confirmed. Someone on a four-wheeler's down there. I wonder if they know what's up here. That's where I came from. It's where I was gonna park. And I guess I can show you the road now. We basically just walked up from down there. Very steep hike, but there is a foot trail that gets you all the way here. So, Bravo site, I would say, is confirmed. And what I was hoping, based on my aerial photography studies, is what I see. There are ruins that come down and walls that are built all the way up to the tip top. Let's go check it out. All right, let me give you a quick tour of Site Bravo. I walked up the trail, put a lot of my gear down so I don't have to walk up, because you can see you do have to climb a little bit, not too bad. People did make a trail straight up through the wall, so your best bet now is just try not to touch any or knock any more stones down the hill, but the way is pretty clear and well trodden. And then you've got a couple different tiers of buildings, very Sears K-like, I will give it that, except I would argue more extreme, because up top, as I saw with the drone, you have like structures going all the way to the top. So makes you really wonder what the heck was going on in their time. If you haven't seen the Sears K video and you're curious about this, you might want to go stop and watch that, learn about that, and then I'm just making a very general, vague assumption that could be wrong, but I would say a educated guess that this is from the same people in the same era, and for whatever reason, they started taking up defensive positions maybe 800 years or so ago on these really tall mesas that overlook the land, sometimes in 360 degrees like this. And when you start to plot them on maps, they all look relatively the same distance from each other sometimes, maybe a mile or 2 miles apart at the most. I suspect there's one on that mountain right there, as I've been talking about, Site Alpha, somewhere up there. So they seem to like to keep a line of sight to each other. Makes me think that anyway, and maybe for signaling, signal fires or something if danger was approaching. least doing internet research, you read mentions to conflict or whatever, but I don't know what kind of warfare these people would have practiced. I mean, I know they had axes, stone axes and things like that. So would they use that for their weapons? I guess they had arrows and bows, spears, I don't know. Does anybody know what warfare would have been like? One thing I think we do know that I read is these people did not have siege technology. So imagine trying to invade something with walls masonry feet thick, you know, where someone has an advantage on you from up above. It ain't gonna go too well, probably. But just like Sears Cay, you can see all that's left of these places are the foundations, the outer walls are what's left. Gravity has brought a lot of it down, as I thought I could see with the drone, even up there on the top. And I suppose if one really wanted to get up there, it's not terribly difficult probably, but you know my thing, I'm kind of a wimp, so I didn't see anything terribly interesting other than the walls that we can already see, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a petroglyph or two somewhere around here. Being as though my main purpose today was simply to confirm or deny this location, I'd say we're successful in that. I'm gonna kind of take you up a little bit closer to the wall. You see that right up there? I might go a little further. Very loose rock up here, so you know, I gotta be careful. Probably going down is more dangerous than going up. But, and gosh, we're already halfway up, aren't we? I love how I say I'm not gonna do something and then I end up doing it every time. It's a little more clear than I thought it would be. So why not? We're almost there. Very rocky though. A lot of people have been up here. You can tell. You can see, oh my gosh, there you go. There's your fortress. Up close and personal, man. And I don't see how you get up there from right here. They built walls all over, and there may be petroglyphs, some modern, some not, in there, but look at that. Wow. Wow. It's a very precarious cliffside, giving me the oogie woogies. I don't know if that's another wall below me or not, but anyway, you got a lot more than I was planning. It's the end of the road for me though. That is so cool to see up close, though, how intricate of a job they do and how well those all fit and how tall the walls could be. I don't think we realize that because we're seeing it hundreds of years after the fact. Amazing. And I don't think we're gonna get a better view of my second location that I wanted to do today. Now I can really see that road, and now I really see how far away I'd have to go. That ain't gonna work. I could just tell you right now. I already had enough trouble flying up around this, and I'm right on it. You can lose your signal really quickly and lose sight of your thing if you're not careful, and I did not want to lose sight. And there's our road. So to get out of here, you can really get a good look at the trail. You could see the ruins. I walked pretty much up that side of the hill, which is the less steep side, but then you got to hike up that really steep hill. You can't even really see the trail too well, but it's there, it's well marked. Then there's our road that I opted not to drive on. Very steep drop, swing back around in a couple high clearance sections that you saw. So that's it, Site Bravo, it exists. And once again, I stand atop where the ancient Hohokam once would have stood and talked and been studying the view for miles and miles and just wondering what life would have been like up here for them. They were farmers, hunter-gatherers, and clearly they were in great shape, having to climb up and down these things probably day in and day out. I'm gonna get one more shot of that. Absolutely fantastic. This exceeds all expectations. I'm stoked. So I got you virtually up to the top. Probably swings around the other side. It's probably not hard to access it, but I think that's what I got the drone for. I'm pushing 50 here, and I'm not that in shape. It's definitely worth it to at least come up a little higher to get a good vantage point of these ruins. I'm gonna guess residential sections. Sears Cay was kind of built like that. A lot of the residences were further down the hill, and there was storage at the top. And I wonder if this is similar, where they could go up to the top if they really needed to. But I mean, there's not much room up there, so I don't think a lot of people would live on the very tip top. I wonder if it was more just the tower and the final location to go if there was trouble. You know, I was doing research last night to see if they have dug up the bones of these people, because I do believe they did practice burials at a certain point, if I'm not mistaken. So you would think if there's warfare, you'd find archaeological evidence of people's heads getting smashed in with an axe or a stone or something. And I don't know how much of that exists. And it might be because the tribes, that's not respectful to the tribe's wishes or something like that. I don't know, but that's kind of an area of research I want to take things soon. One thing's true of history shown us is that when people get hungry and they start starving and fighting over resources, there's nothing people won't do to survive. Even us today, I think it's in us. So we should be thankful for the relatively stable times a lot of us have enjoyed in our lifetimes, and let's hope it stays that way. Because I don't want to be living up on a windy hilltop like this all the time. It's good to visit, but that's about it. All right, another one to mark off the map. Site Bravo. Let's get back to the car. The wind's picking up and I'll chat in the car. We'll figure out what's next, if anything. I feel we were successful though.
All right, so I guess I can relax a little bit because I didn't go all the way up, but on the way back down it didn't look as bad as it did when I talked myself out of it. But I'm tired now because I did a lot of hiking. You can see me sweating for the first time in 2024 probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a true statement, and I'm embarrassed to say it, to be honest. I did want to catch up and update one thing that I said recently that maybe it's good to correct myself, which is, you know, with the Onyx stuff, I was complaining, and Amy and I were complaining about how sometimes our maps don't seem to be up to date, and they seem to be old. Well, that's by design, apparently, because they, on Onyx, you have to pay for the Elite package to get up-to-date maps, which I do not have. All right, I think that just leaves a quick debrief. I mean, you saw the original plan. I wanted to go scout out Site Alpha, but we got a very good look at the mountain that it sits on, and I knew it was bigger than this, but seeing it in person and seeing where I think I was going to end up and where I think I needed to fly is a much different thing in person. You know, I'm experienced, but not like, I don't have like years of experience, so, you know, I like to be cautious. But we will be back, Site Alpha. I don't feel bad about it at all anyway, because having to hike up that mountain was a lot more of a workout than I was planning on today. But as for the debrief, I would say that we were very successful. Site Bravo was where I thought it would be. There were foot trails as I thought there would be, studying online resources, and that might be the most accessible of the bunch that I know about, so it probably does not get any easier from here. And I think to really see some of them, you're gonna be straight up bushwhacking, you know, 1,000 feet, maybe 500 feet, more like it, up the side of the mountain. So I need to get snake gators, I think, is the thing I keep thinking I need. That's really my biggest fear, to be honest, are the snakes. Hey, Indiana Jones didn't like snakes either. Give me a break. So if you want to go see Site Bravo by vehicle and park right up under it, you saw the road to do it. You saw how I opted to do it. Park and walk a little bit. No matter if you drive or not. If you are going to drive and park all the way at the bottom, that doesn't save you for a very steep walk to the top.
The rocks were very loose and gravelly and slippery and really steep. Not technically steep, just dangerously steep. So if you're okay with that, then you're gonna love it. If you like these ruins, if you have no interest in ruins, it's probably not really not gonna be your thing. Well, folks, a Hohokam off the beaten track ruin with a hike to boot marked off the list. Amazing. I had a blast. I hope you enjoyed this scavenger hunt with me. One marked off. Who knows how many more to go? Probably hundreds one day, but we'll get it done together. We will. All right. See you next time.